We're running a series of episodes on Enterprise Architecture Radio where we are doing a comparison between IQ and EQ. And in my first episode, I established what IQ and EQ is, and I gave the Venn diagram by Ken Schwaber and James Shore of definition of project success, where you have business success, technical success, and people success. And then I associated technical success with IQ and people success with EQ. In the second episode, I talked about why the balance is important, why EQ is important, why IQ is important, and what happens when you tilt on one side or the other. What are the benefits, what are the downsides? If you tilt too much on either side, then it's not very good and balance is necessary. In today's episode, we will talk about how to improve your EQ or how to bring more focus towards EQ, because focusing on IQ is easy. In fact, the system is designed in such a way that it pushes you to focus too much on IQ. Today we'll talk about how to focus more on EQ. Now, before we start off with what you can do, I'd like to remind you that if you're enjoying the videos that you're watching on Enterprise Architecture Radio, then let YouTube know, like, share, and subscribe, and comment, and let me know what you'd like to hear in the future episodes, and I'll see what I can do. This is the third episode in the series, so today is probably Friday. When this video gets published, I would be on my way to Assam, probably crossed Siliguri. For people who don't know, Hyderabad to Assam is 2,500 kilometers. I live in Hyderabad. I'm going to be riding my beautiful motorcycle. I have a BMW R1250 GSA, triple black color, beautiful motorcycle. I love it. I'm going to be riding on it from Hyderabad to Assam. My mother lives in Assam, and I would have crossed Siliguri, and probably, or maybe I would be in Calcutta. I'm not entirely sure at this point in time. I'm reaching Tezpur on Sunday, if I'm not wrong, which means on Friday I'll be in Calcutta. If you're interested in that kind of thing, then please let me know, and I'll share my other YouTube channel in which I log all my motorcycle travels as well in the show notes. It's not a very, very professional YouTube channel. I don't get a lot of time to create these videos and edit them and all of that. So forgive me for that. This is a much simpler podcast because I just sit in front of a camera and talk, and editing is also not that difficult. Anyway, let's talk about today's topic. So, what can you do to improve the EQ within your organization? So what I do, and I'll tell you my experience of what I have done to improve, and I would like to believe that my team is quite happy and I am a very empathetic leader. I know it's a little bit too much to talk about myself, but I don't know whether I'm good or not, but this is one thing that I know that I have focused on it all my life. Since I've become a manager, I've always listened to people like Simon Sinek, who talk about psychological safety and how happy people deliver better outcomes. And I have tried to do what I can. So what I do is every quarter, at the beginning of every quarter, I have a workshop, 2-day, full-day workshop with meals included in it. And what we do is we look at the organizational strategy, first of all, right? We look at the organizational strategy. We take the slide deck published by first our CEO and then our CIO about what we are going to be doing the rest of the year. And then we drill down to our work, that what are the different priorities that the leadership has and how we are contributing to that. And what this does, two things. One is it keeps us focused, obviously. Second is it gives us enough material to present our work to the leadership team, saying how we are contributing. So we are active thinking. We are actively thinking about strategy, etc. And then another thing that happens is my team that I'm working with gets a sense of purpose. They're not doing what I'm asking them to do, right? I'm not like, deliver a solution for this system or, run this program where we are migrating 50 applications to the cloud this year because I say so. That's not it. They understand what the organization is trying to do, right? We are an innovative medicine organization, which means we come up with medicines that do not exist. There's a tremendous amount of research that our organization does. And they understand what is it that they are doing on their day jobs that ultimately contributes to an innovative medicine organization. So that gives them a sense of purpose. Second is we have a lot of fun, during this workshop. It's a 2-day fun thing. We don't go to any resort or something for an offsite. It's not that we never go. Sometimes we do go. And sometimes we go on our personal expense as well just to have fun. But that's not important. We sit in a conference room with a screen and a whiteboard. And we do a tremendous amount of whiteboarding, just thinking of what we are going to be doing for the rest of the quarter. And of course, we also talk about the accomplishment of the previous quarters. And then we ultimately put it down into a slide deck, which becomes a report that goes to the leadership team. And then we start targeting the next quarter. And this we do every quarter. Now, you might think that this is so that we deliver better outcomes, but that's not just it. It's also about psychological safety. Because when we're having all this fun, when we're talking about all this stuff, sometimes futuristic stuff, sometimes we talk about movies. Like recently there was this movie that had come called Atlas. Jennifer Lopez, who sits inside a big robot and goes to another planet to fight a villain, and she does not trust AI first, and then she becomes a friend of an AI, and then together they implicitly trust each other and all of that. We talked about the movie. What this does is it makes them comfortable to come and talk to me about anything. And that's psychological safety, So I try to find ways by which I can combine both of these. One is we are focusing on the strategy. We are focusing on the analytical modeling of complex problem solving. But along with it, we are also having a lot of fun. We are also building psychological safety. We are also, building brotherhood within the team, or we are building our relationships with each other so that everybody is comfortable talking to each other. People don't get territorial, because I have a large business capability that I manage, and there are sometimes chances that people might get territorial, but these things are a little bit pushed back when you build this psychological safety. Of course, IQ focus is also very important, and that's why we have training programs to keep everyone updated on latest technologies and within the organization. Then there isn't much that needs to be done by a leader except focusing on quality and focusing on technical skills. And it happens very, very naturally, for most leaders. But EQ is something that's missed out on. Just running a workshop, I think, could suffice. There are other things that you can do. You can have an offsite. You can go out for dinners. You can talk to people one-on-one about their problems and about their challenges. You can have a very relaxed environment to work in. Like, for example, I've created an environment in my team where my team members do not have to come and ask permission to take a leave. That culture does not exist within my team. Now, some people might be surprised. Isn't the manager supposed to manage all the leaves? Not necessarily. In my team, they self-manage who goes on leave when. I have made it very clear that the only thing that I expect is work should not be impacted big time. I don't want to hear, negative feedback from stakeholders or leaders about how we are doing the work. But I also don't want to micromanage how you take leaves. I want you to self-organize. If somebody is going on leave, the other person, and we run sprints, so everybody knows who's doing what. We don't have silos where one person is the only one who understands what's being done. Everybody understands everybody's work. So if somebody has to go on an extended leave, for example, of 2 weeks, then there is somebody who can understand the projects that are running that he's responsible for and probably take over a little bit. So, it's a very healthy environment, I would like to think, where I don't micromanage people's leaves. I always tell them it's your leaves. You can take them whenever you want to. Just make sure that you're responsible about it. Make sure that work doesn't get impacted too much. I can totally understand. And even our stakeholders understand if somebody goes on leave, they don't, but if there are tight timelines and deadlines, then you'll have to manage around it. So there are things that you can do to improve the emotional quotient of the team, or improve the culture, improve the psychological safety, improve the fun that people have while doing it, improve the sense of purpose that people have in what they do. And it's a better way of living life, I feel. I mean, what's the point in just going to work and coming back home every single day if you don't enjoy what you're doing? And this is what I've believed all my life. Whenever I've stopped enjoying the work that I'm doing, I've always left, you know. Sometimes there were horrible managers that I reported into, and we've all had a share of bad managers every now and then. But I've been in my current organization for 11 years, and that says something about my leadership and the environment that I work in, because so far I'm yet to see a day when, of course, there are difficult days. I'm not saying that, it's all butterflies and rainbows, like I say, right? Sometimes there are challenging timelines, and sometimes, outcomes are not always the best. And sometimes stakeholders are not happy. Sometimes leaders are not happy because there is an alignment issue sometimes, or those things happen. But in general, I think the environment is not toxic. And that's what keeps me going in my current organization. Of course, that is not the only reason why you leave. Like, my previous manager was exceptionally good, and I was very happy, and we are still good friends. And I came and joined this organization because I had to rebalance my portfolio. I was too much into application side, too much into financial side. I moved into healthcare. I moved into infrastructure and technologies and other things. So those are also reasons why you change. But all I'm trying to say is, if you don't like the environment you're in, move. You're not a tree, right? You can change the circumstances. You can do something about it. You can work towards it. So that's a wrap. In general, what I'm trying to say is emotional quotient is important. Psychological safety is important. Being happy in life is very, very important. I mean, work happens all the time, but be happy, right? And that is why, I end my episode by saying have fun. Have fun. I tell my children when they go to school, have fun. That's a very important thing in life. You have to have fun. I cannot stress enough. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, then let YouTube know. Like, share, and subscribe, and comment, and let me know what you'd like to hear in the future, and I'll see what I can do. And once more, Enterprise Architecture Radio is not just a podcast. It's a collaboration platform where I'm trying to bring people together, trying to create a group of intellectuals that work together, that share their experiences, that ask questions, that learn from each other, guide each other, but most importantly, have a ton of fun.